You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
You know what I needed? I needed a little Kyle Lowry in that fourth quarter. That's what I needed. Maybe even, if Kyle Lowry is going to suit up, hey, maybe Doug Collins suits up. What's he got to be, like 70 now, something like that? He was there, him and Costas. How dare they play this poorly in front of His Holiness, Mr. Bob Costas, for the nationally televised game, that is. That was awful. That was just so unbelievably awful. And I know the Sixers didn't have Joel Embiid. I know the Sixers didn't have Paul George. Tyrese Maxey, not a great night shooting, but nothing was going well for the 76ers. And just before the game, Kelly Oubre gets announced that he is not going to be playing in the game due to an illness. So Quentin Grimes gets moved into the starting lineup. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, didn't feel great about this game going into it. And then there are three big things as to why I just felt like the Sixers had no shot in hell winning this basketball game. And number one, let's just start in chronological order. Let's just go chronologically, okay? Number one, Kelly Oubre wasn't going to be able to play. That was number one. You needed – Keith and I talked about it during the Daily Show today. Locked on 76ers. By the way, Locked on 76ers postcast so far, we're 0 for 2. Not great. But anyway, Keith and I talked about it this morning. It comes down to needing somebody else to step up outside of VJ Edgecombe and outside of Tyrese Maxey. Don't give me Jabari Walker 20 points. That happened really in the fourth quarter. That's great. Love to see it. Just wasn't a factor. The game was well decided before Jabari Walker did anything worth bragging about. So anyway, number one, Kelly Oubre not available for tonight's game. He knew right out of the gate, this is going to be a lot to overcome. You would then need Quentin Grimes to really go off. And I give credit to Keith Pompey. He wanted to see Grimes do that. That was the number one guy he was looking at. I was looking at Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre, not available. That's the first thing. Number two, a little over 2 minutes into this basketball game, Andre Drummond has 2 fouls. Adem Bona's looking at him like, hey, man, that's my bit. That's what I do. I'm the quick foul guy. You're inching in on my territory now. Andre Drummond, 2 quick fouls right out of the gate. He leaves the game. Bona comes in. Bona actually provided a little bit of life, considering at the time it was about 11-2 in favor of the Spurs as they were going on a nice long run to start the basketball game. 11-2 runs, a nice little run there. Nice run to start the basketball game. Bona comes in, little life gets injected into this team. Great to see that. That was short-lived, though, unfortunately. But of all the quarters that the Sixers had, that first quarter was the most actual game that we actually watched unfold. They lost that first quarter 32-25, then got blown out of the second quarter. I guess the second quarter is the new third quarter. The Sixers have struggled mightily in the second quarter over the last couple games here. But number one's Kelly Oubre, not having him. Number two, Andre Drummond getting into foul trouble so easy. And you already know you're down Joel Embiid. You already know you're facing Victor Wembanyama, by the way. And Wembanyama wasn't even the star of the show tonight for the Spurs. Not all around. I mean, if you tell me going into this game, by the way, Wemby's only going to have 10 points, I'm like, hey, maybe this is the game the Sixers find a way to win. But then 8 different members of the Spurs finish in double figures in scoring, including Devin Vassell and Dylan Harper, each with 22 points to lead the pack. Harper off the bench, knocking those down. Meanwhile, Vassell, he knocks down 6 of 8 from beyond the arc. Cool. We're having fun. So, yeah, all that goes off of Drummond getting 2 fouls early, where it just didn't feel great. And then the hammer that fell down on the 76ers tonight was VJ Edgecombe, the end of the first half. Gets fouled by Carter Bryant, a hard foul. And Bryant literally reaches over VJ Edgecombe and, like, pulls him down from behind and then looks around. What? What did I do? You aggressively fouled VJ Edgecombe, what you did. So VJ goes to the line. He knocks down 2 of 3 free throws. The Sixers go into halftime trailing big after just falling apart in that second quarter. And then did anyone honestly look themselves in the face? Did you guys run to the restroom during halftime, look in the mirror for a second, and then say, Sixers got this? Nobody did that. Sixers at halftime probably were in the locker room going, All right, let's just get this over as quick as possible. And for some reason, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey still played over 20 minutes in this game. I mean, what were the other? Were you really going to play Kyle Lowry? No, that wasn't going to happen. Only Sixer that was actually dressed tonight that didn't play. Ain't that something? But anyway, this was just a terrible loss. And I went ahead and I crunched some numbers for you guys because I'm such a nice guy. Good Lord. A 41-point loss. It's the Sixers by my count, and I'm terrible at counting, so just say, by my count, it's the Sixers' third 40-point loss of the season. They lost to the Magic by 41 back on the 25th of November. Lost to the Magic by 41 points. They lost to the New York Knicks just a couple of weeks ago, February 11th, by 49 points. That was also terrible. And then tonight, 131-91 loss, a 40-point loss to the San Antonio Spurs. Not great. I'll say it again. Not great. So VJ Edgecombe then did not come back, by the way. Did not come back into the game after he was fouled going into halftime. Like I said, he knocked down 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He ended the night with just 6 points, unfortunately. Again, only playing one half, playing 20 minutes tonight. And then it's the right call. You got the Jazz again coming up tomorrow on a back-to-back. You cross your fingers that he'll be fine and be able to play in that. But, man, it just does not put a good taste in your mouth with where the Sixers stack up and really throughout the entire season. I mean, I do look at Nick Nurse for a part of this. And, again, you're looking at a game tonight where you don't have Embiid. I'm not looking for excuses here, but just to lay out the facts. I know you're down Embiid. I know you're down Paul George. You only had VJ Edgecombe for a half. Tyrese Maxey struggled shooting. Was 8 of 19 from the floor tonight. You're facing Victor Wembanyama. You're facing one of the best teams in the NBA in the San Antonio Spurs. So you'd like to have a full roster. And you didn't even have Kelly Oubre in this game. You're missing Kelly Oubre terribly is what I'm telling you, okay? Drummond got into foul trouble early, and I take all that into consideration, but I still look at the head coach of this basketball team, and I look at it and I go, 3 40-point losses? Like, to lose by 40 in the NBA. By the way, I know a lot of people might be thinking about that Charlotte Hornets game that the Sixers got blown out of the water in. That was a 37-point loss, by the way. I look at these games from the 76ers, and I go, they're not even prepared to play. That they don't even look like they belong on the floor as the San Antonio Spurs tonight. And then you look at not only just a 40-point loss, for instance, by the Sixers tonight, but you look at it as a whole, they trailed by 49. They trailed by as much as 49 points. They trailed by as many as 49 points in a game they never had the lead in. That's not being prepared to play. And that's at least 3, maybe even 4 if you count the 37-point loss they had to the Charlotte Hornets back on the 1st of January, or 26th of January. You look at those games and you just go, wow, just not prepared to play. Great. And that's where you do look at the head coach and you say, I understand losing, but not at all being competitive, especially after the first quarter. That's rough. That's absolutely rough. All in all, in the offensive rebounding category, the Sixers actually out-rebounded the San Antonio Spurs. But overall, the Spurs got them by 16 rebounds, 56-40. I know that's been a big sticking point for a lot of people. 3-point shooting percentage, Sixers were just 10 of 42 from beyond the arc for a 24% 3-point percentage. Meanwhile, the San Antonio Spurs, 40% from beyond the arc against the Sixers tonight. Turnovers, 17-14 in favor of the Sixers. They had 3 fewer turnovers in the game. But man, oh man, they just got blown out of the water. I did click over to the national broadcast at one point. And there's one thing that it's just Captain Obvious, but it was said. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Locked On 76ers Postcast on the Locked On 76ers YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Back after this. And right now, it's time to tell you about Indeed. Indeed sponsored jobs. It's where it's at. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing. The one position you have to fill still sitting open. That's why you need Indeed-sponsored jobs. It helps you reach the right people who actually fit what you're looking for. So you're not just looking around and seeing what candidate fits, but you're looking for the perfect candidate. Indeed-sponsored jobs helps you do that. You don't just sit there and wait for the right person to stumble across it. You want to know that they're going to see it. And how about this? How about this for a stat? Just in the brief amount of time that I've been talking to you about Indeed-sponsored jobs, according to Indeed data worldwide, 27 hires have been made already. How about that? That's why you know you can trust Indeed-sponsored jobs. Spend less time searching, more time actually interviewing candidates who check all the boxes with less stress, less time, and more results. That's what I like to call efficiency. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, you need the person through Indeed-sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. And how about the show, by the way? Let them know you heard about it. Locked On 76ers POSTCAST, by the way. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. This is a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. And how about BetterHelp? BetterHelp is something we could all use. BetterHelp is what a lot of people need, especially when you already made it through the holidays and now you made it through the Valentine's Day and all that. People need BetterHelp. BetterHelp helps you out. BetterHelp. BetterHelp is here to help you. And if you don't like the therapist you're originally assigned, you can change so easy through BetterHelp. BetterHelp has helped so many people, and they have all you need to make sure that you are using the right person that can help you for the right problems, the right issues, the right things that you want to talk about. You get matched up through so many different therapists that have helped so many people already through BetterHelp. So that's why I need to check out BetterHelp at BetterHelp.com. That's BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. The roles we play in life can get a little difficult at times. BetterHelp is here to make sure that they help you with over 30,000 licensed therapists and more than 6 million people served worldwide. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, and it works. Fill out the short questionnaire, get matched up with a licensed therapist, and once again, if you don't think it's the right fit, you can switch at any time. So how about this? Take care of your emotional well-being because that's what matters. Find the support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. That's BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. And how about taking advantage of FanDuel? College basketball is nonstop, especially this time of year. Big games, tight spreads. Momentum swings every single night from early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts. There's always action to get in on at FanDuel. Now, FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. It almost sounds like too much, but it's not. Not on FanDuel. It's a good time. You can build any college hoops parlay that you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits. Oh, it's such a good time. Make sure your point spreads are in there as well. And also you can go safe or you can go bold. You can ride with the team that you've been following all season. Hey, it's your parlay. You do you, your own style. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. Before we see what you wonderful people are talking about, let's talk about the players of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Players of the game. Dylan Harper, Devin Vassell, again, both getting 22 points apiece for the San Antonio Spurs. A game high on the evening. So credit to them for doing the thing that they do so well. Before I go any further with that, there was one particular thing that I know a lot of people will talk about. It was mentioned during tonight's game as well.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Points in the paint. Doug Collins in the third quarter. Hey, you know, if Joel Embiid was playing tonight, the points in the paint wouldn't be as that much of a differential. Now, it closed out at 60-46 points in the paint in favor of the San Antonio Spurs. 60 to 46 in favor of the Spurs. But if Embiid was playing, it would be different. You bet your ass it'd be a different story if Joel Embiid was playing. It would also maybe be a little bit of a different story if Andre Drummond didn't have 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the basketball game. That would be another thing. But it was dreadful. Couldn't get points in the paint. Got a lot of it in that fourth quarter, which, by the way, the Sixers did outscore the Spurs 27-18 in that fourth quarter. Got a lot of those in the paint as well, but it was one of the biggest discrepancies in the game, other than 3-point shooting percentage for tonight's game. By the way, the total, the Spurs hit 8 more threes than the 76ers did. As far as turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Tip-off? All right, start of the second quarter. I'll go start of the second quarter. There was one point in that first quarter. Tyrese Maxey, I think it was Maxey, he had a 3 to tie it at 22 all. And he went, all right, here we go. Sixers had a nice little run, responding to the early run by the Spurs there. It was great, right? They had the 13-2 run, Philly did. Maxey hit a 3 after a really rough no call in that first quarter. Made it 22-22, and then the Spurs were like, all right, we'll take it from here. They respond with a 7-0 run, and then that was just that. That was a wrap, folks. That's the way that went the rest of the night. All right, let's I just want to make sure I could get a couple of these in here before we part ways for the evening. All right, here we go. Ready? Buzz says, fire Nurse now. Okay, what else does Buzz say? Oh, Buzz says fire. I wonder what else Buzz says. Nurse. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Now, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to say it and then individually say it on different comments. I do appreciate that very much. It's a roster problem, says Gree. Thank you, Gree. Roster problem, bad GM. I do concur with that. Like maybe don't trade Jared McCain. Now, hear me out. He was shooting 48% from 3 when you traded him. But hold on. Wait for it. Campaign? No, still nothing? Okay. All right. Well, I tried. There you go. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Champ, I see you. What's going on? Nice to see you. CM Punk. Hello. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Hey, make sure you guys check out me and Keith Pompey tomorrow morning, breaking it down even further and jumping right on the second leg of this back-to-back against Ace Bailey and the Utah Jazz. Let's all cross our fingers that VJ Edgecombe is up and running come tomorrow night when the Sixers are right back at it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We'll be back with you guys in the morning with Keith Pompey, longtime 76ers beat writer. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Locked On 76ers. Catch you guys tomorrow.